So I'm here to present the Keep Me in Your Heart Award, which Linda and I, we came up with this award to honor people in the entertainment industry who have brought focus to our cause, to asbestos disease, be it a patient, family, advocate, anyone like that. And as we were speaking with each other, as we do every year, and try to figure out who it should be this year, and I went, well, you know, that song wouldn't really exist without one guy. Well, many guys, but the top of the food chain, the guy who paid the bills, got it put on tape, that gave my dad a chance. I think people can picture that my dad's career was always in this limelight and this prestige, and the thing was that he wasn't. He was working very hard. He was a working musician. He was paying the bills, but after a certain time, it was just it was a hard road. And he found himself in a place where he didn't have a record label, and he didn't have a manager, and I think he was probably pretty freaked out about that, as you can imagine. And the next thing you know, he ends up at Artemis Records, and Danny Goldberg not only brought him in as an artist, but gave him a contract that was kind of unheard of, and really supported him and believed in him. And I could give you Danny's credits. He would probably hate that. Yeah. Okay, you can manage Nirvana. But he went from like BFD to legend to icon to up there. But he believed in my father. He believed in his music. He gave him a chance. And The Wind, his final album, did become his most successful album, but Danny didn't know that. Danny didn't know that when his first record or his second record on Artemis came out. He just said, make records. And he did. And so it's... Oh, and he shares two special distinctions in my life. The first one is that at my dad's funeral, I did a mock phone call to him just to kind of emulate the way that we would talk to each other. And it turns out that I called Danny. So he got this message on his machine. And the second one is that when Dad won the Grammy for Disorder in the House, and I knew that if he won, I was going to accept it, I didn't really think we had much of a chance of winning, but that wasn't going to stop me from working out and getting a cool set of clothes and practicing a speech over and over and over and over, because I knew the one thing I didn't want to do was get up on TV in front of all these people and go. So I didn't do the paper. I had it all in here. It was flowing perfectly. And then I mentioned Danny Goldberg, and people had to start applauding. Right, and it just threw me. Like, it was perfect. I was like, and Danny Goldberg, yeah, that's Danny Goldberg, nice guy, good record label. So thanks for that. But he is just a huge voice for artists over his career, and he is, like I said, I don't want to go over his resume because he's going to hate it. You can Google him later. But I want to thank him for helping my father make this last record and make this song that we've been able to use for our cause. And to this day, I think that once every month or so, I'll get a letter, I'll run into somebody who will say that, you know, my brother died, or my father died, or recently it was my daughter died, and we played this song. Or they'll ask me if they can play the song at the funeral. I'm like, of course, God. But the fact that it's touched as many people as it has, and it's kind of become somewhat of an anthem for us. So this year, the Keep Me in Your Heart Award, I'm very honored to present to Danny Goldberg.
Well, it's pretty humbling to be here in a room of doctors and people who work in politics who are working on the issue of awareness for this disease. I feel a little inadequate as a rock and roll guy following John Field. But I want to thank Linda Reinstein at a moment in American history in which the whole idea of empathy for other human beings has been called into question. I'm so honored to be recognized by the ADAO. And I want to thank Jordan for his personal friendship and for shouldering with Buddha-like equanimity the burden of dealing with a wide array of crazy issues when his father was dying. As Warren told me at the time, I'm so proud of the kid. In 1999, I started Artemis Records, and Jackson Browne sent me some new songs by Warren, who'd been without a label for 5 years, and we released the prophetically titled album Life Will Kill You in January 2000. 3 years later, the beginning of the summer, Warren called to tell me that he'd been diagnosed with mesothelioma and only had months to live. He wanted to record a final album and said, and this is an exact quote, "Let's milk it." The result was The Wind, which was released 2 weeks before he passed away in September of 2003. It included the song that Jordan just sang, Keep Me in Your Heart for a While. All of the songs he wrote for that album, he wrote when he knew he was dying. And Jackson Browne said to me he felt that Warren would be remembered as much for how he died and the way he was able to communicate with the public about it as for his music. Earlier this year, Warren was belatedly admitted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but I think that the posthumous recognition that would have meant the most to him was a passage in Bob Dylan's 2022 book, The Philosophy of Modern Song. In the book, Dylan chose 66 songs to represent the best in American songwriting and included Warren's Dirty Life and Times, another song he wrote for The Wind. Dylan described it as a song with head-turning beauty, a daredevil of a song. I visited Warren in the studio when he was recording it. It was a session that took place the week after Dylan, who knew that Warren was dying, had performed Warren's song Mutineer at the Universal Amphitheater while Warren watched from the side of the stage. I asked him what it was like, and he said, "You know, I love Dylan so much, it's almost worth it." What a character, what a genius, and what an honor to remember him and to be recognized by an organization dedicated to preventing people from getting the disease that took him from us 22 years and 5 days ago. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Linda.